docs4patientcarefoundation.org. That's www.docs4patientcarefoundation.org. Go to our site and please make a generous tax-deductible.
You're listening to America's Web Radio. And now time for the Classic Car Show with Steve Rinaldo and Jim Weber.
Good morning and welcome to the Classic Car Show on America's Web Radio. We're glad to have you listening in today, and we've got one of our special guests that we always, oh, wait a second, I didn't shut one of these things off. Dadgummit, why is it running? Where's my little mouse? There it is. Okay. Sometimes you get the bear, and sometimes the bear gets you, and you're talking to people and forget what you're doing. But anyway, we've got someone that we always like having on the air with us, and that's Mr. Steve Moskowitz, who is the president, director, I don't want to throw in janitor, but I'm sure you picked up some paper cups every now and then. Mr. Steve Moskowitz, live and direct.
Live and direct
from Hershey,
Yep.
Pennsylvania.
From Hershey.
Don't know what you guys did, but if you're listening to me, I can't hear a word from you.
You can't. I don't know what, how about now? Can you hear us good now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
All right.
Okay.
Steve, you okay? Can you hear me?
Yep.
All right, we're good. We are good. Anyway, well, how are you doing anyway? You doing okay?
Doing well. Doing well.
Good. It was nice to see you and have that nice long talk we did in Charlotte. And again, I like I called you and told you I want to compliment you because this is the first national meet I've been to since COVID. I didn't make it to the Pennsylvania shows last year, but I think AACA's program for dealing with the current situation, I think you guys are doing a really good job of it.
Well, we're confident. I mean, we've had now 3 big events or 3 good-sized events, and so far we've not had a single email, telephone call, complaint of any kind that somebody alleges that they got sick from our event. So, we've done everything we could do to be prudent, yet still continue on and try to enjoy this hobby. So,
wait a second, Steve. I thought you got one letter that said they got sick of somebody named Ronaldo.
Well, that's a whole nother,
they weren't vaccinated.
That's a pandemic into itself. That,
True.
But no, we've done well, and I think people are very grateful that they have an opportunity to get back to this hobby. And a couple weeks ago, Carlisle had their annual spring event here, their flea market, and according to one of the owners, it's the best year they've had in 10 years. And
wow,
I've talked to people about hour and 2 hour long backups getting into the place. So, there's a lot of pent-up demand for getting involved in this hobby and enjoying what we all do.
Yeah. How about Luray? Have you ever been down to that Luray meet that's coming up in Virginia, the pre-World War II meet that they have, the flea market? I've never been.
I have not been there, Steve.
Yeah, I just wonder if it might be worth putting it on the schedule to ride up and see what's happening. Because like I said, I like flea markets anyway. Speaking of flea markets, let's talk about the granddaddy flea market, Hershey. What's going on with Hershey?
Hershey's happening.
It is.
And of course, the news out of the CDC yesterday only reinforces our feelings that we're going to be completely good to go. But, the Hershey region has gone through fall registration, and in our latest magazine, we've just opened it up to spring registration. I've met with Hershey Entertainment executives about certain plans that we've got going for the week, and I've met with the Hershey Region Fall Meet Chairman. Everything is full steam ahead, and so we we are looking forward to hosting the greatest show on earth once again here in Hershey, Pennsylvania in October, and hope it's pretty much just the same as it's always been in the past. And
yeah, it'll be interesting this year to see after what happened last year. It will be kind of interesting to see the response. I'm just curious as what's going to happen. I don't know. I hope it's as big as always.
Yeah, we might get hurt with the folks from overseas. That's all still very much up in the air, and even our Canadian friends still cannot come over here. So, but that's a long way off. And
a long way.
Given where we are on this side of the world, things are certainly progressing at a pretty strong rate to the positive side. So, hopefully more and more people will take the advice, and I don't want to get into politics or any of that other sort of stuff, but it's sort of been proven now this vaccine can be of help to our world, and I just hope more and more people that are medically able and religiously able will go ahead and get the shot and help us get back to, as they say, some sort of normalcy.
Absolutely. I have one question about the little card that was in this month's edition of the Antique Automobile. It said spaces are limited on the little white card. What does that mean? Does that mean you have a few available, or there's just not going to be so many as we've had in the past?
No, there's going to be absolutely as many. It's a standard phrase we have in there. If you don't tell people, and they are limited. I mean, we've got pre-registration was pretty strong, but it's not an open-end book here. So if people want spaces, and of course, first come, first serve. So if you want the better spaces, those are the ones that are going to probably get filled right off the bat. So don't procrastinate, because that's what at least AACA members seem to love to do.
Oh, yeah.
Is to procrastinate. And I hear a lot of people say, "Oh, you can't get into the fall meet. I want to be a vendor. I want to be a vendor." Well, here's your chance. There are a few more spaces than normal. So this is somebody's chance to get spaces, and once they get them, they're theirs, forever, unless they do something wrong or give them up.
How about the car corral? Is that going to be limited to the same number?
No limit. And car corral, there's plenty of space left for that.
Okay. And what about the show on Saturday? What do you think? Same size?
Yeah. Well, same size. I'm sure hoping it's going to be the same size. That's what we're planning for. That's what we've ordered trophies for. I would hope by October everybody is just raring to go to be back to Hershey. I mean, the amount of complaints and hand-wringing and people being upset that we did not have Hershey. Well, here's your chance to get back and enjoy what I think is one of the most special car events in the entire world.
Oh, it is. I've been going since the 50s with my dad, and for the most part, and it's just you can't. There's no way to describe this. If you're a car person, this has to be on your bucket list to at least minimum of one time to go see it. You won't believe it, actually. You really won't. It's phenomenal. Not just the people are great, and there's just so much stuff.
Yeah.
Stuff. Oh.
Well, and you get a turkey leg there, don't you?
A turkey.
Well, what I was wondering, Steve, you said that you'd gotten the trophies. Is this like Little Leagues today? Everybody gets a trophy?
Not on your life.
No, and I'll tell you, like I called you and told you, I hadn't entered a car in a national meet in years, and I entered the Jag in Charlotte and got. Those are nice trophies. They're just, the ones that you get are really, really nice. And
Thank you.
Yeah, they and they're heavy. I mean, these are not like the old wooden ones. These are really, really, really substantial. But we're going to go out to Arizona. We're going to drive out there to Arizona just for fun and take the Jag out there and see if we get a prize out there. That would be kind of cool.
Well, that's super. That should be a great adventure, and so have fun.
Yeah, I think so. Let's talk a little bit about now, in conjunction with Hershey, what do you have planned for the multitudes, Moses, when we all show up to go to the headquarters? Are you going to park Hershey Park Drive so we can all get there?
Steve, let me tell you what. I've there's not enough Tums for my stomach over this one right now. I've asked the traffic director at Hershey Entertainment to look at my issue here and help me figure out. We don't know what we're going to do.
Really?
We're very, very nervous about how we go about this. Giving everybody access to the building that wants to. The building is absolutely phenomenal, and that's the reaction to everybody that walks in the door here, not just mine. I don't see it quite as phenomenal because I'm so used to it, but the reactions are strong. But you know, we have to balance getting people in here and out of here, and we have to balance parking and make sure nobody abuses it. We want parking to be available for people that want to come in here and do serious research. The library is so phenomenal right now, and there's so much new material that I'm sure there's going to be an awful lot of people that want to get here and see what it is that we have now based upon the acquisition of the Free Library of Philadelphia. So we've got a big dance to figure out, and I'll be quite honest, we don't have a clue right now how we're going to do it.
How about Chris's sale?
I'm not 100% sure exactly how he's going to go about it this year. I think it may be a few selected. We might have a sort of a silent auction on some stuff, but they are working so hard. We've got we have an extra person working in the library now, so we have four librarians. We have 3 to 4, well, at least 4 regular volunteers that are coming in 1 day a week, and we got a long way to go before we get everything in where we need it to go. So trying to get everything ready for people coming here and then to have a sale, I think it might be held off for a year or two while we get better organized.
Oh yeah, that's a big deal. Anyway, let's talk about the rest of the AACA schedule, and then we can get to some general stuff. How's the response for the tours and the Auburn meet coming up and the
convention? Let's talk about
the convention. That's a good point. That's not that far off. How's that coming?
Well, we just came down day before yesterday, and went to the hotel. The hotel works out absolutely perfect for us. We're pretty much at the point where we got enough people. This is not a traditional big city hotel. The hotel sold out. Our events, the events at our president's house, that one I've had to put a sold out sign on because we just can't handle the people. So we're quite pleased that we are going to have a convention, and it's not going to be a normal convention, but you know, we've added activities, and it's in a beautiful area. Williamsburg is just gorgeous.
Oh, it's a great place.
Yeah.
And so I think we're going to have a good time.
Steve,
and
we're going to have to take a break here, and I should have warned you in advance, but we'll start the break by, how about you doing an ad for AACA right quick?
Sure.
Hello.
Well, hey, if you want an ad right now,
Yep.
you know, certainly if you love cars, if you love the hobby, AACA is the #1 club in this country, if not in the world. We give back. You have a free website with great forums with 25,000 people on there all the time that can join you and ask questions, and you can learn. You've got a fabulous award-winning magazine, 17 national events this year alone with tours and cars at a ridiculously low price for $40 per couple. So absolutely, you should want to join AACA. And if you're not sure you want to dip your whole body in the water starting in June, you can join for a half year for $25 and test it out, see what you think, and go for that test drive. We're sure you're going to absolutely love being a part of this whole club.
Plus the fact that your magazine is second to none. It is beautiful. So with that being said, we're going to put Mr. Rinaldo back on the air for J.C. Taylor Insurance. We'll be back right after this.
Hi, this is Steve Rinaldo, host of the Classic Car Show on America's Web Radio. Just talking to you about antique car insurance. I think that if you're looking for the best coverage for your classic car, consider J.C. Taylor Insurance. They've been my insurer for years in this hobby and have the top rating of all of the insurance companies in the hobby. When you get ready for insurance, call J.C. Taylor or visit jctaylor.com on the internet.
Hi, this is Rocky Blair, former four-time Super Bowl champion with the Pittsburgh Steelers and Vietnam veteran. As a board member, I'd like to talk to you about Warriors to Citizen, a nonprofit organization that helps American heroes, soldiers, police, fire, EMT, and their families recover from the psychological harm caused by career-induced stress. Over the last 20 years, broken relationships have been a major causal factor for the highest documented divorce rate and resulting suicides in this population. This program, From Warriors to Citizen, is delivered free to families by professionals, all whom served in uniform and understand the needs to be addressed. I ask for your support, so please go to our website, warriorstocitizen.org, and find out how you can help, either by making a donation or sharing this information with an American hero that you may know. And thank you.
You're listening to America's Web Radio on the AmericasBroadcastNetwork.com. Thank you for listening.
As we come back to America's Web Radio and the Classic Car Show with our special guest, Steve Moskowitz, the Director-President of AACA, I want to take this one moment just to recognize, as the country is recognizing today, our veterans and Memorial Day and those that have given the ultimate sacrifice. And we want to salute them, and at the same time, I'm going to stick my tongue out at Blasio in New York for shutting down the annual parade. So, anyway, if you're a veteran or a member of your family's a veteran, and we happen to have in Atlanta, Georgia, two of the greatest locations in the world. The Georgia Military Veterans Hall of Fame, which is downtown, and then the wall that heals, which is the replica of the Vietnam Veterans Wall in Washington, D.C., that traveled all over the country, and it's got a permanent home now in Johns Creek, Georgia. Plus, Peachtree Corners has a great memorial, and we want to salute, and Steve Rinaldo, we want to salute for his service, as a matter of fact. So, with that being said, let's get back with Mr. Moskowitz.
Yeah. All right. So the convention's going to go. It looks like a big go for you, huh?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited. Now, the other parts of the schedule. What about the what response are you seeing as far as numbers go from the rest of the stuff? The meets coming up, the tours coming up.
Well, Saratoga's 2 weeks after the convention. Right?
Yeah, Saratoga.
Yeah, the tours are all, looks like they're all pretty much going to sell out, they're all, to be frank, they're fairly small tours by design, so they should do well. Our shows, I'm a little bit disappointed with the numbers so far, but, after 18 years here, I am well aware of how our folks wait to the last minute. Our shows will double in size in the last 2 to 3 weeks, and it drives me absolutely batty because we have to make plans and have to order trophies, let alone the regions that have to put in guarantees for meals and things of that nature. So the good news is that a lot of the hotels are sold out, but it's not reflecting in the numbers. But I'm expecting Saratoga to be very well attended. Auburn, I'm scratching my head, but that's not till July, and so hopefully that's gonna come around. So I think in the end we'll do well, and the more each day people get more comfortable about being out, based on all the guidelines here that are going out. Hopefully it'll give them the confidence that this is the right thing to do to get back living their lives and move on. So,
Steve, have you seen either an increase or a reduction or about the same in membership this year?
Well, we've lost a few members this year. Some of it's age, some of it is definitely pandemic related, where members that were part of regions and chapters that basically closed up for the year, they just they felt, well, there's nothing for me to do, no sense in being a member, and which is short-sighted. But we're working hard at getting those numbers back up, and we have a couple new membership programs that are looking to be very good for us, and looks to be like they're going to be quite successful. So hopefully by the end of the year we'll be back up to where we should be.
Good. When will you be able to tell us about the new membership programs?
Well, I can tell you one of them right now. The others we're still tweaking, but we have a unique membership program with a company, Classic Auto Mall here in Philadelphia, that took over a shopping center building, and they've got hundreds and hundreds of cars in there on consignment. And one of the owners approached us about a relationship, and so we have a relationship with them now, and they are providing a free membership to anyone that buys a car from them. And just in the last 2 months where we've started the program, we've got over 150 new members.
Wow.
So this promises to be a pretty good shot in the arm for us.
Yeah.
And a shot in the arm with a lot of younger people too. So
good.
We're excited about that.
Yeah, I've never been there. I just read about this business in Philadelphia, and it sounds phenomenal. That they're doing a hell of a job.
They are. I quite frankly would have not guessed it, but they're very aggressive, and now that I understand their business model, I understand why they do so well. But they're really helping the hobby because they're hosting tons of car shows there, and in fact, we in a few years will probably have a national car show there as well.
Oh, really? Cool. That'll be kind of a neat. Let's keep at this. What do you see as far as, because you have your finger on the pulse of this as far as prices? I hear all the time, you talk to these guys, friends, now's not the time to sell a car. They're not bringing any money. They can't get anything out of them, and they're hard to sell. What do you think about that?
Well, that's kind of an interesting subject. It's a common subject. Just came away from the Greenbrier Concours and talking to Dave Kinney of that does the price guide for Hagerty, and we're seeing a little bit of everything. A great car is still going to bring all the money. A great car. If some of the what I would call average cars, there may be a little bit of softening of the market, but we're just getting into the real selling season. Amelia Island will kick it off next weekend, and RM's having a in-person auction there, and they are sold out of seating.
Wow.
So I'm anxious to see where this is all going to go, but I think making generalizations that the market is completely soft right now, I don't buy into that. There's tons of cars being sold. If your car is priced realistic, and if it's a car that's desirable, it's going to sell. Not everything keeps going up forever and ever and ever, and so certainly some of the cars needed to come back down to earth.
Yes.
I'm mostly concerned about the 20s and some of the 30s cars, which don't seem to be the basic production cars seem to be fairly soft right now.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that's the segment of the hobby, the 20s and 30s, pre-war stuff. Any brass era car, they're just there. They're never going to change. First is always best. But some of that stuff is getting, it just doesn't seem to have the interest. Now, I know this is a real touchy subject, but I'm going to put you on the spot. What about modified cars in AACA? The resto mods, they just had Street Rod Nationals in Knoxville, and we were on that VMCCA tour in Knoxville at the same time. And I was told they had 12,000 cars there at Knoxville. What do you think about that stuff?
Well, number one, I started my car, quote, career with hot rods.
Me too.
That's what they were called at the time, and custom cars. And I certainly enjoy looking at them. I certainly admire the craftsmanship. But, trying to be all things to all people, this is my personal view. I think the board right now feels the same way, but trying to be all things to all people eventually makes you nothing to everybody. Some organization has to stand up for preserving history as we know it. And going the route that so many other car clubs have gone by inviting modified cars in and then upsetting a certain segment of their membership and losing those, and then just trying to grow for the sake of growing, that's not who we are. This club was built upon the premise that we needed to preserve the automotive history of this country. And if you are making a resto mod, you are not preserving history. So you can't talk out of both sides of your mouth, and I think there's got to be a club in this country that stands for something and stands for a strong believer in history and strong believer that people need to understand the role the automobile played in developing this great nation of ours. And changing a 27 Chevrolet to air conditioning and custom fenders and anything else, it doesn't set well with me. That there are other clubs that can do it. So I don't think, at least during my time here, that AACA is going to do anything other than live up to its reason for being.
I agree with you 100%.
Steve, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Steve Rinaldo, host of the Classic Car Show on America's Web Radio, talking to you about antique car insurance. In this hobby that I've been part of for years, not all insurance companies and insurance coverage is the same. I would suggest that you call J.C. Taylor or visit jctaylor.com to find out some information about some of the best antique car insurance you can get, such as agreed value insurance for your classic car. Again, when you get ready to insure your classic, antique, or even your street rod, call J.C. Taylor Insurance, or visit jctaylor.com.
If you live to serve and want to make an even bigger difference, consider joining the U.S. Army. With training in fields like medical care, linguistics, and engineering, an Army career can amplify your efforts with humanitarian opportunities all over the world. Plus, you'll receive competitive pay and incredible benefits, so you'll be taken care of, too. Learn more at GoArmy.com.
Hi, this is Rocky Blair, former four-time Super Bowl champion with the Pittsburgh Steelers and Vietnam veteran. As a board member, I'd like to talk to you about Warriors to Citizen, a nonprofit organization that helps American heroes, soldiers, police, fire, EMT, and their families recover from the psychological harm caused by career-induced stress. Over the last 20 years, broken relationships have been a major causal factor for the highest documented divorce rate and resulting suicides in this population. This program, From Warriors to Citizen, is delivered free to families by professionals, all whom served in uniform and understand the needs to be addressed. I ask for your support, so please go to our website, warriorstocitizen.org, and find out how you can help, either by making a donation or sharing this information with an American hero that you may know. And thank you.
You're listening to America's Web Radio on the AmericasBroadcastNetwork.com. Thank you for listening.
And we're back on the Classic Car Show with our special guest, Steve Moskowitz, up in Hershey, Pennsylvania. And what does everybody think when you say the word Hershey? Chocolate.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Candy bars.
Yeah, back in the old days when
Kisses.
Hershey made chocolate there, if the wind blew right from downtown, the whole flea market and car show smelled like a giant chocolate bar, and everybody would run to the Hershey chocolate tents and buy those big candy bars and walk around and eat them. But they don't even make anything in there anymore, do they?
That's a modern day fairy tale. They make a ton of chocolate here in Hershey.
Oh, they do still. Oh, okay.
And you can still smell it. One of the older plants was torn down, but they got a huge plant on the west side that they've got hundreds of millions of dollars tied into it, and they did move some production to Mexico, but Hershey is very much a chocolate town, and trust me, I get to smell it from time to time here.
Yeah, it's great.
So with every new membership with AACA, they get a Hershey bar?
We'll have to talk to Hershey Entertainment, Hershey Foods, if they'd like to join us in that program.
Yeah. I do remember that as a kid, though, going there and the smell from the town.
Oh, at one time, before all the environmental controls, it would be overwhelming.
Yeah, it was great. Great for us kids, anyway.
Well, it got so overwhelming, the kids got cavities. So they had to...
You mean rust?
Yeah.
The kids got rust?
Yeah.
So anyway, so you got a full schedule again this year.
Yep. It's kind of exciting, and we're all over the United States, as far away as Arizona and Colorado, and down south and up north, and so it's good to be back to business, and good to see people getting a chance to take their cars out and enjoy it. And Charlotte was a really good indication of how much our people miss being with each other. And if you saw the hugs and everybody just seems so excited to see each other. So, humans need other human contact, and that's all a part of what we do. We always say the cars bring us together, but the people help us stay together, and I think it's very, very true in AACA. There's a lot of lifelong friendships.
Oh, absolutely. Our whole social life is, for the most part, has been AACA stuff.
Yeah.
Is Chris going to take the bookmobile to some of these?
Well, see, we're talking about what we're going to do, but problem is, getting Chris out of the office. He'll be at the convention, but his time is so valuable here in this building getting us ready. Plus, next week on the way to Amelia Island, we're picking up a 36 Ford Phaeton Grand National Award winner that has been slightly modified in the last year or two to do tours. And that's probably going to be the headquarter tour car. So eventually I'd like to see Chris and other staff members or board members use it to get a pre-war car out on a national tour. So, you know, we got a lot of plans that we want to do. We got a lot of things that we would love to do, but it's like 10 pounds into a 5-pound bag right now.
That would be great.
I cannot begin to explain to anybody what a massive job this Philadelphia library acquisition was. When we knew we were getting the world's largest collection of owner's manuals, pre-war owner's manuals, we didn't know how many that would be. It's over 10,000 owner's manuals.
Wow.
And they all need to be put in their proper place within our library. So everyone's got to come out of the envelope. We got to take a look at the condition, see if we already have one. If we already have one, is the new copy better than the old copy? If we don't have it, it's got to be cataloged, put in the correct spot. It's just a massive, massive effort. So that's a long and involved story of saying.
I'm sure it's
how Chris is going to get out with the bookmobile is a big puzzler at the moment.
Yeah, I like the idea of you guys and I think that's a good idea for AACA headquarters, whether it's the administrative part or the library part, to have a car to go on tours and have it lettered up nice and to come out and because there's nothing like a tour to get to know people. You have a week with everybody, and that's really fun.
Yep, we're excited about doing it. I heard many years ago, way before I got here, somebody suggested the idea that those old guys back then didn't see the forest for the trees. In my opinion, they turned it down. But it's something that just makes common sense.
Oh, great idea!
We've got the perfect car to do it now with this donation. It's a absolutely stunning car. If we took the alternator off of it and did a couple things, it would win a Grand National repeat easily. So,
cool. Wow.
Gorgeous car.
Cool. Well, I'll take it on the Glidden. I'll pick it up on my way, and I'll drive it up to Saratoga.
That's just because he wants free gas.
I'll pay for the gas.
Oh.
But,
thank you for that magnanimous offer, Steve.
One other thing back to Charlotte, real quick. One of the things that I really liked, and I'm sure you got a chance to look at it, was that high school group that brought the Javelin that they are restoring. Did you see that car? Did you get back to the back and look at that car?
I feel terrible now that you're telling me about it. I didn't even know about it, and I didn't get back there because I was going pretty hard that day.
Oh, I know. I know you were, yeah. But I'm going to make a little deal out of it too. The car is in this current issue of Antique Automobile under the Charlotte thing, and this is a high school. The car was donated, and this high school auto shop group is putting this thing together, and they did such a good job, and it's not being done that it got a second junior at the national meet. And now they're getting ready to sort of finish this, and the address and how to contact them, and they are looking for donations. I just talked to Hewlin, and he said that I can't remember the company that does the interiors for muscle cars and stuff. $4,000 for a vinyl interior kit for a Javelin.
Wow.
So they are looking for donations. Brenda and I already sent them some money, and so it's sort of a commercial for them. Take a look at the Javelin in the magazine, and they would appreciate anything. Because like I said, this is a high school group, and the car's beautiful. It really is going to be a nice car.
Good, good.
So that's my commercial. Go ahead. I'm
All
sorry. I
right,
didn't
yeah,
mean to
well,
interrupt.
I just want to switch gears for a minute and ask Steve about Puerto Rico and how the people are doing there.
They're doing fine. They've had a little tougher time
Yes.
over there than maybe some places in the States, but they are they have a spirit over there that will not be denied. They are still very, very into the hobby, and they are doing things, and they're looking forward to next year having the meet there. And I hear from them from time to time. Just got an email this morning. They just love the hobby, and they love AACA, and they're just so excited we're going to be over there. So they seem to weather, no pun intended, the storms over there, and hopefully, the Hawaii's already, I think, at a herd mentality, and so maybe the islands, that if people get vaccinated, they can get back to tourism and having a safe land to live in. But they are certainly working on their cars and having a few car shows and doing their thing.
Good, they're back then.
Yeah, that's a great. And they are car people, because
Oh,
I used to travel the Caribbean when I was at American Honda as part of my stuff when going down there. And cars are it's amazing the number that's done. Hey, how about Hawaii for a national meet?
Boy, I'd be in favor. In fact, I'd volunteer to go anytime soon and try to set that meet up. And it'll probably take me a while to get it done. I might need to be there for a month or two.
I understand. Yeah. The best part of going to Hawaii is you get laid when you get off the plane.
Oh, jeez.
David,
as they
can
say,
we
a
cut
million
his mic?
comedians out of work, and we got Ronaldo.
I know.
We're gonna cut his mic off.
Is there a no? That's the past tense.
I know.
All right then.
I know.
I wonder if there is a big antique car.
There's a region over there.
Yeah, but I mean, how big and stuff? It would be cool.
It's not real big. There's cars over there, certainly. It's not gigantic, but there's cars over there. Certainly there's a cost involved, and I know we have one member that just decided to retire there and shipped one of his collector cars over there. He called me to talk to me about it. So I know there are some cars over there. I don't think enough to ever have an AACA meet, but boy, to have a car on the island, that's pretty special, pretty neat.
Yeah, it would be. How about Alaska? That's we're going. How about has there ever been a national meet in Alaska?
No, there was a tour at one time, I believe, but there's not been a meet as far as I know. And we've got a couple chapters in Alaska.
And from the West Coast, that's not a huge long drive, is it, Jim? You probably know.
Yeah, it's you don't want to do it.
I don't want to get in my 1909 Maxwell or Steve's curve dash and drive from.
We could take the Studebaker Electric.
Yeah, and stop. Yeah. I just wondered. You never think about those things, but I bet you in Alaska would go pretty good, though. I bet you that would
a tour.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, we're going to take another break before Steve gets carried away.
Hi, my name is Steve Rinaldo, host of the Classic Car Show on America's Web Radio, talking to you about antique car insurance. In this hobby that I've been part of for years, not all insurance companies and insurance coverage is the same. I would suggest that you call J.C. Taylor or visit jctaylor.com to find out some information about some of the best antique car insurance you can get, such as agreed value insurance for your classic car. Again, when you get ready to insure your classic classic, antique, or even your street rod, call J.C. Taylor Insurance or visit jctaylor.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, join me, Roger B., every Tuesday at 1400 hours right here on America's Web Radio for the Locked and Loaded Show. We will talk about guns, weapons, ammo, gun accessories, prepping, and so much more. So be sure to join us every Tuesday at 1400 or 2 p.m. for Locked and Loaded on America's Web Radio.
You're listening to America's Web Radio on the AmericasBroadcastNetwork.com. Thank you for listening.
And we're back on the Classic Car Show with our special guest from Hershey, Pennsylvania, Mr. Steve Moskowitz. And we've got Jim and Steve and David here at the round table. So let's get back to the action with Mr. Moskowitz.
All right. My question to you, Steve, are you driving the Studebaker to Amelia Island?
No.
Okay.
I'm not.
You would have left already.
Yeah, that would be a long trip, but yesterday I installed the new lights on it, and it just changed the car dramatically. I sent Steve a picture of it last night. It's just stunning. The car takes 36 batteries.
Wow.
And I'm not about to put 36 batteries in there right now. So it's there at Amelia as a do not judge. It's the only one in the world, and Amelia wanted it, and so it's going down courtesy of our friends up at Nicola Bulgari's collection.
Beautiful.
They're taking three electrics down there, and a charging station, a period 1900 charging station as well.
Wow.
And if you've never seen one of those, they are like something from a science fiction film.
Oh, they are. We did a convention in horseless carriage convention in Savannah with Nevy, and there were, I think, 8, maybe even more electric cars. And we were at the hotel in one of those old hotels in downtown Savannah. And these guys got together and they were going to charge their cars, so they got their charging equipment up. They all turned them on at the same time and browned out the hotel. The guys said, "No, you can't do that anymore."
No.
So
yeah, it seems like a good majority of the electric car guys now are putting modern batteries in them and hooking up a charging station in the car. I don't know how I feel personally about that, but we're leaving ours. All the wiring is there to hook up to the correct batteries, but not for now. I am just amazed that we got this car in the condition that we did in 5-6 weeks when it sat the way it did for the last 15 years or so.
West did a great job, and both of you, of presenting that car in the magazine.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
I like the start the part that Mr. Musk played in trying to get this electric car running. Yeah, that he was there.
Okay. Steve, backing up a minute, where do you find the correct batteries for that car?
I'm not an electric car expert, but I know a battery does exist for those if you want them. They're extremely expensive. May not be the exact kind of battery that was in the car at the time, but it would be at least if there's such a term, a more correct battery than popping the front or the back of the car and seeing 4 interstate batteries sitting there.
Green batteries. Yeah.
Wow. I've not gotten into it to that point. Once we get the car back from Amelia and got some time to study this thing and understand how it's wired, because as I said to I just had a wonderful call from my electrical instructor at college. One of my favorite teachers found me. He's in his 90s, sharp as a tack, and I had to tell him, I said, you know, I loved your class. You were one of my favorite teachers, but I hate electrical. I literally hate it with a passion. I said, I want to get my hands greasy, dirty, tear something apart, put it back together, but keep me away from being under a dash or trying to wire something up. I'm just not good at it. That's all there is.
I always liked it. I always thought it was fun.
Well, you had a great basic electric course that you taught these guys, and I still remember the clock run by
the potato.
Yeah.
Now, Amelia Island. I know that you are going there. How are things looking for Amelia? We haven't had Mr. Warner on in a while. How are things
he's
looking?
been busy.
I think, he might have been a little, a little stressed.
Well,
maybe.
and he's got his new book is going to be announced there.
Oh.
Yep.
The other side of the fence.
Amelia looks good. There's some very significant changes due to COVID. Instead of 130 judges, there's approximately 90 of us. Instead of 300 plus cars, there's 200 plus cars. There's certainly going to be all the precautions. RM will, as I said before, have their in-person auction there. The seminars are reduced seating to allow for some social distancing. But, you know, I got my group of cars to judge, and wow, pretty daunting. Some fabulous cars that are going to be down there.
What are you doing? What class are you? What are you doing?
I'm doing American Classics 20 to 30.
Oh, that's serious stuff.
Yeah.
And so I looked in. Of course, I know almost every owner. That's going to be interesting. But we judge cars. We don't judge owners, and we'll do the job that's expected of us. So I'm looking forward. There's a lot of these people I haven't seen since last year's Amelia Island in March. That was the last big event I went to, and a week later everything shut down. But I think Bill and his team have done a remarkable job at dealing with what the state and most importantly the hotel has handed them, and they've made the most prudent decisions they can. They've even thought about the judges for a change and not forcing us to wear sport coats in June in Florida, and we're all going to have golf shirts. And I think it'll be another great Amelia. I'm anxious to see what the crowd's going to be like, but there's going to be certainly enough eye candy, and Lynn St. James will be there as the honored guest this year, and she's so well liked by everybody and so personable. I think she's going to be a pretty popular guest. So, weather looks good. So excited about Amelia, and hopefully Bill gets through the week okay.
Well, if you spend some time here, if this is a stopping off point, if you go through this side, going down or going back, give me a call and we'll go out and I'll buy you a pizza.
Oh my! Oh, be still my heart. Be still my heart.
I don't think I'm going through Atlanta.
Oh, you're going down 95, huh?
I'm not driving. I'm flying.
Oh, you're flying. Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. Steve, with just driving down to Williamsburg the other day, with all my surgeries, my days of being in a car for 20 hours is not happening anymore.
I know the feeling. It's not that. It's getting out of the car that I have a problem.
Yeah.
Anymore.
Well, you don't even have time to unpack your bags between Amelia and Williamsburg and then Saratoga.
Yeah, then I'm going on a family vacation, first one virtually ever with my entire family, and a week after that. And it's a busy summer. It's a really, really busy summer.
And that's good.
Yeah. I have one other thing to talk about. That's the Speedster. Stacy does such a fabulous job with that, and that's kind of like an adrenaline shot. Every time that comes out. So please convey to her our appreciation, and I'm sure all the rest of the members.
I will do that. Unfortunately, many people have the same comment, so I have a hard time keeping her head the size that it should be. But no, she's very appreciative. She's very passionate about doing a good job with it, and she's aces. She's a great employee, as the rest of our guys are.
Oh, and don't forget your supervisor when you're giving out, attaboys, your supervisor, Patty.
It's a little stronger than supervisor, Steve. But, Patty's pretty indispensable to this organization.
That's
been here a long time and does a great job. So,
she's the command sergeant major.
Command sergeant major, absolutely.
Hey, would you ask Steve Rossi to please publish an easy question that Steve and I can get? Because
what was the name of the first car that Henry Ford made? What was the name? Ford. Right? I got that one.
The magazine's great, but Stacy's Speedster really kind of puts the frosting on the cake.
Oh, good. That's that was our whole thing is, keep ourselves in front of our members, keep the news up to date, and so having a bi-monthly magazine, having Speedster out every month, having our website up every day, and I am bound and determined, if it's the last thing I ever do, to have a complete new website by the end of the year.
Wow.
I've been really struggling with it, but I'm hoping to have something that's going to be actually pretty shocking.
What are you going to do with your extra time this year?
I've always said I wanted to die on the job, and I think I may head that way after this year. It may be the end for me, but I love this hobby. I love this club. I'm passionate about it, and unfortunately, my parents raised a workaholic, so it's not healthy. It's not the right thing to do, but I don't know anything other than to do what I've done most of my life, and that's work 6-7 days a week and late at night. And don't do this at home. I tell everybody, don't follow it's an unhealthy lifestyle, but it is what it is.
You ever going to get your old Oldsmobile sports car out?
I'm due to race at least this year at Mount Equinox, which is absolutely my favorite event. Yep. It's the world's tallest paved hill climb, and people like Renee Dreyfus and Carol Shelby and Briggs Cunningham and
Steve Moskowitz.
All those guys have raced there in the past. It's a pretty historic event. It's 5 miles straight up the mountain with 40 turns and 2 or 3 hairpin turns and a straightaway where you can do well over 100, and just love the event. And I've got my car completely rewired. I've made a lot of changes to it, and my infinite wisdom, I put a new clutch in it, an easy effort clutch, and now we can't get the clutch to work right.
Oh, no.
Steve, we're going to have to put the plug in the jug. We're running out of time, but want to thank you for being on America's Web Radio and the Classic Car Show, as always. We love hearing from you and your stories, and the way that you direct the club is just
it's great.
Incredible.
We'll see you soon.
All right. Thanks,
all right,
Steve.
Very kind to you guys. All the best. Thanks for all you do for the hobby.
Yeah, be safe.
Right. Bye-bye.
You're listening to America's Web Radio on the AmericasBroadcastNetwork.com. Thank you for listening.
Hi, this is Steve Rinaldo, host of the Classic Car Show on America's Web Radio. just talking to you about antique car insurance. I think that if you're looking for the best coverage for your classic car, consider J.C. Taylor Insurance. They've been my insurer for years in this hobby and have the top rating of all of the insurance companies in the